The way they've kept you in bondage is they've got you believing that you are more human than you are God. They've got you so looking up to this deity that you don't recognize you are that deity. They've got you so scared to even declare that you are one and the same, that you never will. If you never will, then they will win. Christianity and God are not synonymous. Church and God are not synonymous. You got to understand the time that we're in. Because we didn't see what was coming. Enough of us were not aware of the tyranny that was already in place, that's been laid from the beginning, and creating these agents within the Christian church that would keep people under their thumb. And that's what this is about. Now that you know the definition of tyranny, here are some synonyms. And now that we understand that our educational system was not about educating, it was about indoctrinating, we also know that church and state are clearly one and the same, never separated. Listen, here are some key words to consider. Federal Reserve Bank, straw man. Just look at your own situation right now. What's your housing like? What about food? Bill Gates, poked, unpoked, forcing you to take sides. Listen, it's the end of life as you know it, but it is not the end of the world. Now what? This is not just about who you decide to serve, because the Western world is now in trouble. This is not about between you and your God. It's about you distinguishing who God is versus what the church is. God and religion, Christianity, any form of religion, are not synonymous. I've been teaching personal development my whole life, mostly. I left the church over 20 years ago. That was after being a certified Christian minister through the Pentecostal church. I started in Baptist. So I was like 30 when I pulled away from the Christian church. And so that was over 20 years ago, y'all. We're talking the 2000. What I had not been prepared for, you know the song, One is the Loneliest Number? I spent a lot of my time in isolation alone. Not because I isolated myself in the beginning. It is because I was being ostracized by anybody who called themselves Christian. And it didn't matter what denomination. So I'm telling you, the roots remain in the Roman Catholic Church. It does not matter what flavor of Christianity you call yourself. You are still conditioned that there is some God that is keeping track, has a ledger of your good and bad, like fucking Santa Claus, and then they come back with all these kinds of things to reinforce your good or your bad. There is no such. There is no heaven nor hell to send you to. You are living hell or heaven right now and enforcing it with other people. You have become their agents, keeping folk under their control, and you don't even recognize it. And today more than ever, you need to be able to stand in your independence, because if they can keep you under control, you'll never stand up against the fucking tyranny that has come against you. So what I know is Christianity and God are not synonymous. Church and God are not synonymous. When you come from out of that, you'll see the machines they've created in this world to be able to keep you in bondage. The way they've kept you in bondage is they've got you believing that you are more human than you are God. They've got you so looking up to this deity that you don't recognize you are that deity. They've got you so scared to even declare that you are one and the same, that you never will. If you never will, then they will win, and they will continue to win. But when enough of us recognize who we truly are and stand in the consciousness that we are and have been granted and were given long before this body, and that we will return to stand in your godhood and overturn the bullshit they are trying to place upon you, that they've been successful at all these years. I ain't quiet no more. I ain't just letting shit be. I ain't looking at the tyranny from the people who have been conditioned by the few. Enough of us have done the work to be able to hold your hand and guide you through. Do you hear me? Come on, let's transform, y'all. Transform ye by the renewal of your mind from the bullshit they've been trying to condition you with. I keep telling you, the scripture is valid, but it is not in the ways they've taught you. That's all I got for you today. At least right now. I may come back later. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. In fact, the real wolves in sheep clothing are the Bible-thumping, self-righteous, very critical, inflexible Christian. So I learned very early on in this journey that I was going to be on this journey mostly solo. Back then. Today, you don't have to do that. There's enough of us who have made the transition out of the bondage, the mental and emotional bondage that is religion and any form of Christianity, that we have created some spaces where you can now come and be comfortable. And I've been out of it for a very long time. So the bullies, the wolf in sheep clothing, do not scare me. Christianity and God are not synonymous. They were right about one thing: God is not the author of confusion. No, it's Christianity. Christianity is the author of confusion. Come up out of that shit. It's all fucking bondage. When you come from out of that, you'll see the machines they've created in this world to be able to keep you in bondage. So if you taking pills every fucking day, you need to listen to me. It does not matter what flavor of Christianity you call yourself. You are still conditioned by the same shit that is binding you right now to not be able to see what is happening in the world. Come up out of that shit. It's all fucking bondage. It's a few people, a few fucking families that established the world you live in. You're not gonna see the machines in operation as long as you stay your ass in that. Y'all gonna wake the fuck up. Oh yes, more and more of you are. And when you do, I didn't even realize, y'all, that I was gonna have to have this level of compassion for the same folk who for the past 20 plus years have ridiculed me. And now they're coming and saying, I'm tired of it and I'm sick of this church shit. I know there's more. I didn't know I had it in me to not say fuck them, but to embrace them. And that is true godliness.